Thank you, sir.
It says
You look
we're
like a
live.
mortician. Feel it.
We are live.
You good?
Well, thanks, Fred.
John probably won't.
John, yeah, he might not be there.
We don't know if he's gonna be here.
Oh. So we won't give one. Do you want one, Nikki?
I'll have one just in case. I have a pretty full. Pretty full.
Holy smoke. Jennifer, you want
I'll take it in case I finish my grape Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I need to, I'll need to wash down the
I've been
Starburst.
drinking grape Kool-Aid all
I'll need to
summer.
wash down the
I make it
Starburst.
with, like,
Jennifer's gonna.
Do you?
Yeah.
What's that?
That she's gonna share.
I'm gonna wash down the Starburst at Jennifer's.
We're not supposed to be here that long today. I didn't bring
You didn't bring a
reinforcements.
snack?
Nope. Because there's some little big fingers that got into my stash.
Uh-oh. I have to hide mine.
I do. If you, they leave them sitting where my son knows they're at and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Disappears.
My son eats anything. Else. He goes right to the chocolate chips. Hello.
They are. And I still
thank you.
eat chocolate chip cookie dough before it's cooked, so.
We all do
Hasn't
that.
killed me
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've seen before recipes where they say just leave the eggs out of it. If you mix it up, but just leave the eggs out
Eat
of
it
it.
and then add your eggs if you're making cookies.
Yeah.
If there's any, if there's any left.
It's working. Volume sounded good, everything sounded good, and I asked Vicki to tape it too. What's that?
I said it was cooler out here, I got warm in here.
It's always kind of warm in here. See, they're working late, they've been working on the roof.
Yeah, they
They
were
work-
there.
Still out there.
I said hi to them this morning when
I
I
know,
stopped.
when I
And now
came.
tonight they recognized me. Because you guys have a long day.
Yeah, they've been knocking it out.
But with beautiful weather.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
cooler at night
Beautiful.
now for 'em.
Really fortunate. You get a better job, especially on something like that if it's warmer. You just do.
Yeah.
They were working Sunday too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they work Saturday and Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't pay overtime.
The building shakes.
Well, that,
When they, something like, if they bring us a load of something and they dropped it on
that's when you had all the dust.
the. You're jumping.
Yeah, they all those pallets of material, that's when we got a little bit of dust.
It was snowing a bit in our office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that that's gonna be done. I'm sure you all are too. That's really
Not me, I enjoyed the buckets on the floor.
yeah.
In the yellow ceiling.
And that's gonna be fixed next. They're gonna fix the brickwork. You know, where, down by the, around the perimeter, they're gonna point it.
I did pick up a couple of roofing nails that were sitting out there.
Did you?
Courtyard.
Jeff, how's
Point
your
up.
wife doing?
They haven't been too
How's
bad,
your
actually.
wife?
They've been actually Rob's been they've been
Okay,
pretty
tell
good.
her I
Yeah.
said,
It's the same group, I think they're three.
we're
Three
thinking of
gentlemen.
her. I saw that on
I always figured nobody
Facebook.
steps on it or anything.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, you can't find it.
Good.
Okay. Everybody ready?
Yep.
Okay. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the regular council meeting of the Village of Walton Hills, Tuesday, September 17, 2024, at 7 p.m. Okay, next order of business is pledge allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Of course, we had recess for July and August. So I do have some, I'd like to take a moment of silence for our deceased residents, Patricia Harkey, Jacqueline Mills, Sheila Faulkner, and Marie Dryzid. Thank you, everybody. Okay. Roll call, please.
Councilman Nielsen?
Here.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Here.
Councilwoman Allen?
Here.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Here.
Councilman Whedon?
Present.
All of council present, along with our fiscal officer, Nicole Sell, our fiscal clerk, Melissa Sangrick, our law solicitor, John Montello. Let me know he might be late tonight, maybe not even, depending on what time we recess here. He's at the Bedford Planning Commission meeting. So I said we'll all be our own attorneys tonight. I don't know if that's good or
You know
bad,
what they
right?
say about people who are their own attorneys.
Clink, clink.
Any persons having business before council at this time? I'd like to also welcome any residents or non-residents watching the YouTube. We are on YouTube and we are taping it through the police department. Okay, no questions at this time. As you know, if you have questions during the meeting, you're more than welcome to ask those questions. Okay. Got the mayor's report. The mayor's court revenue for the month of August 2024. The Walton Hills Police Department issued 110 citations in the month of August. The predominant violation was speed, with 32 citations issued, followed by 14 citations issued for expired plates, 8 citations issued for driving under suspension. We had 4 arrests for driving while under the influence of alcohol/drugs. Not what we want to hear. Okay. Do have the monthly mayor's court report. This is for August of 2024. Total revenue for this current period was $18,275 for the month. Year to date was $166,497.93. Last year to date was $159,999.96. Okay, so we're up about $7,000 from last year. All right. Item 7 is the finance update and discussion. I know Nikki mentioned last week at our COW meeting that starting in next month, she really wants to start getting into, you know, the finance, and even would like to get the budget completed before the end of the year, if possible, and so she's really been working hard, her and Melissa, to try to get all that stuff together with good reports and stuff. So for item 7, Nikki, if you wanted to go over, I know you sent us the update. We looked a little bit at it the last couple COWs, but I don't know if there's anything anybody wanted to look at, or anything that you wanted to talk about, or anything you want to talk about related to the appropriations. We could, you know, before we look at the legislation, that would be all right too, or?
Mr. Mayor, I
Yes.
think finance, just to update everyone, I know that I've sent this all out to council. For the year-to-date through August, total revenues for all funds exceeded expenditures by $204,358.93. The village remains within budget expectations, having received 75% of our budgeted revenues and spent 65% of our budgeted expenditures. Rita collections are up 10.09% over last year. And we had a combined interest income for August of $14,316.24. I didn't know if anyone had any questions related to the statements that I gave you. Or if there's any revisions, or if you needed more,
Just
less information.
Just time.
Maybe
For
a
me,
little
just
more
time to get through it.
Yeah, and I mentioned earlier, as we talked about in the COW meeting last week, we thought we would put it on there just in case we needed to kind of have something to go through the appropriations or if something changed. And I know, Nikki, you wanted to also mention the notes, I think?
Oh,
That
yes.
you
So we're
started
gonna-
working on that, and
We're starting to work on the note for the year. We'll be using Bricker Eckler, and I've been in contact with the treasurer's office. So we're just beginning, this week is actually the first I've heard too much about anything. So probably next month we'll be looking at a lot of that.
and Matt's involved in that, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Anything on the appropriations, Nikki, on, I know this is what you gave us last week. You gave us one the week before, then you
Right.
made some changes. Is everything current with, this
Yeah,
is, this
just the
is,
same as last week, no changes.
okay.
Nicole, could you tell me again what is 410190?
Are you looking at,
Page 3 of 14.
um, 310?
410190.
That is wages for Rob, for the building and zoning.
Oh, okay.
And that's one of the updates. I think last year he was combined, the building and zoning, we only had building in there.
Right,
It
it
was
was
in
all
the s-
one.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, that's why it's separate.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was one of the updates,
Correct.
council, okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Makes it a little easier to understand it.
Mayor,
Yeah, go ahead, Ron.
just for Nicole, for the capital projects, mostly streets and stuff like that that we're doing this year. I know most of those, when Mr. Gelati was here last time, he's indicated that he'd like to take some of that money, those funds that came in under budget, and roll that into other projects, a couple other projects, that street projects. Along with that, do you see, I know that generally our street projects that we have done have come in significantly under what we have budgeted. Do you see any further things that we can count on that, as far as coming in under budget?
I think that would be best to talk to him about. What I have is just that initial project that we had.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. As far as, I thought I had a list here. So the one for 675, that
Is
came
that
in
in the
under.
update, Nikki?
There's not really any update as far as too many reductions. I can contact him and ask him how
Oh, it's not, I was just wondering, you don't need to spend the time on it. I can contact them too, but I was just wondering generally through our conversations, usually
Right.
they're very good at projecting a solid figure and
Bringing
they-
under.
bringing it down for
Right.
us. So,
Which results in less pay for us.
correct,
And that's
correct.
what- I know
Less
that's what you're
impact to the
getting- right.
budget, yeah, because we are tonight voting to appropriate more funds for the budget. And
Right.
we're already running a deficit, but these appropriations are needed. We've already talked about that. So hopefully, some things here for the rest of the year are gonna come in under budget, and we can shore that up a little bit more.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is one of the smaller ones under the general fund, but I know we talked about it last COW meeting, Brian, and it was just as simple. We had a meeting yesterday, myself, Nicole, Melissa, Rob, and Lisa. These fax lines, they doubled the fax, the
Mhm.
cost of the fax. Melissa put a nice spreadsheet together, and we're working on that. Oh, and Suzanne was in our meeting too, because she was an important part of that, because there was, with what she does with the court, the fax machine was required, but she talked to them and they can do a little something. So we're trying to eliminate that, and also some of our not cell phones, but our regular phones at different sites and stuff. All the copper lines just went and doubled, which we talked about. Nikki made the point last week, and then Melissa put a spreadsheet. So that $8,000, that is one that might be less, right? Because we're gonna probably cancel some of that, but I know that's a small amount, but every part counts. So, but I just want to make the point that they've really, Melissa and Nicole, and of course the departments they're starting to really look at everything, and that's one of those things. Having you, Melissa, you've really been looking, Nikki's been having you look at all those
Right.
individual bills.
Consolidating the services
Yes.
and making sure we're not doubling up on.
Mhm. That's
Some
great.
stuff, yeah. So that's one, back to your question, that might change. I wish it was one of the bigger ones. I know you brought up cleaning there. Rob and I'll say Mary have really, they're really trying to get that worked out, based on rentals and the use of the facilities, trying to really streamline that. So that one's a little, I don't know, it's a bigger amount, but I don't know if it would be reduced, that much. It might be reduced a little bit. I don't think it's gonna be increased, because they're really trying to streamline that. Things have changed a little bit. During the COVID period, they were, doing a lot more sanitizing and stuff. Not that they're not cleaning, but it's just a different mode. And some of it they're doing in-house, the cleaning, so. What else? Is there anything else on there? What was one we wouldn't have to pay? We're paying the whole thing for, which one was the one you said we wouldn't have to? Was it Gasco that we're paying?
Well, that's an estimate going through the end of this year.
Right.
So, and that's in addition to what we had,
Right.
so that's going back 3 years.
And we just kind of talked about that with Suzanne a little bit. That's just not us. That was related to the court, and some of the stuff Gasco held back because of that. It
Right.
wasn't like that we didn't want to pay him and didn't pay him. It was, they told us not to at that time. You're not going to sit up here with us, John?
I didn't want to interrupt you. I don't mind. You guys don't mind. You can come on.
I don't think you'll interrupt. What else do we got here, Nikki? Or council, anything else?
No, Mayor, thanks
had
to
the
Nikki
raises.
for putting this stuff together. It really helps. It helps me get it in my head exactly what we're increasing and why, and things like this really help me. And so I appreciate that.
Thank you.
John, we're in the beginning of the meeting. We're at item 7, finance update and discussion.
Good timing, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I do have a couple other items that when we're done with this.
Well, if they're related, are they related to finance?
They are finance, but not anything to do with the
Okay.
budget or the
Well-
statements.
Everybody's good? Why don't you do those, and then if anybody has any more questions about the budget or the appropriations, we'll get back to them.
Okay, so the first thing is I've been in contact with our Rita contact, and he asked us, apparently there's no penalties or interest charged to anyone for the first year that we transition to Rita. So he said he would like to know if we'd like to start charging penalties for late filing, balance dues, and meeting estimate requirements. So, you want to hold off
I mean,
still?
First of all, I would like more information as to how egregious is this? First of all, I mean, do we have a few people missing? I know I have one person in my family who was intending, and I've been in contact with you, has missed that deadline because of that issue that had come up. But this isn't just for my my family.
Pay your taxes, Brian.
Yeah, yeah. But I would want to see data as to how egregious people are in not paying their taxes.
Yeah,
And-
if it's excessive,
Yeah,
right, how
if
many?
it's,
Well, the other thing is with Rita, they want prepayments.
yes, and
And that can be very hard for people.
yeah.
And
So I,
it
for
just-
one, would like more information on it,
Yeah.
but I'm inclined to say we're fine the way we are. Unless,
Right.
somebody doesn't pay for a year and can, but.
And typically, what the Rita will send is a letter to the individual, and then if they want to have those penalties or interest removed, they would send it to our office, and we could approve that, to have all of that removed. So that's kind of the process that would happen if we did institute the penalty and interest. And then we would have that opportunity to say, no, don't charge them, or,
I think a blanket just no for now is better than, somebody might misconstrue that, well, I had to pay my fines, but the mayor got this person's fines reduced, or Brian got this person's interest reduced.
Or that person didn't know to call,
Right,
and they didn't ask for that.
right. I
Then
mean,
they
there's,
find out later.
oh, yeah.
But I mean, that's something you want to make, it doesn't have to be made today. We can
No.
talk about it a little more.
That's
and
just
see-
something
or
to
maybe,
keep in
as
your
you
mind.
said, maybe
Yeah.
just get a little more information on it.
Mhm.
I think that was one of the things when we talked about going to Rita. I know at that time, there was discussion on what to do, and we said at that time, but, okay. Anything else, Nikki? We can, further that discussion.
Just one other item. I did go online to the county with the reappraisal. All of the impact that the reappraisal would have on the village is estimated to increase our current revenue $77,746.
It would increase our revenue.
Could you repeat that?
The estimated revenue increase would be $77,746.
From the property tax. Unfortunately, the school's probably getting,
10 times that?
yeah, or at least 6 or 7 times. I wish we didn't have it at all, but it doesn't change our budget enough, that's for sure.
Nikki, in here, where is the fire contract?
Oh, the expenses.
Mm-hmm. I was trying to find that earlier too, and I don't know if I just blew past it at one point, but.
It is 1,000, wait, no, that was not it. Sorry, that was the wrong one.
And if you can't find it right now, and just let me know.
It's, I think that it's the 720.
Yeah, Nikki, would it be payment to another political subdivision?
It's 1,720.
It's under safety and security, isn't it?
Okay,
Oh, no,
what-
that's Gatso, this one. Sorry, it's not listed.
That's
It may be 1,790, 349, but let me confirm that.
okay. Thank you.
Melissa, could you go look at UAN and look up which one the fire contract is?
I'm sorry?
Can you look at UAN and see which one the fire contract, what number, line
Oh.
item number?
Yeah,
So you go through this way.
Because
Yeah, doors
that's, that 790, 349 is pretty low.
What's that? I know, I think it is the one I said.
The
Which one?
655,
Yeah, the only one that I know that would be 535 to another subdivision.
yeah.
Oh, what number is it, 535?
No, that was the amount. It's 655, but it's two breakdowns. Go ahead.
1,126.40.
It's payment to another political subdivision. But maybe I'm wrong, I just never seen that way.
What number was it, Brian?
1,000,
Oh, yeah, that would be it. Sorry, I was looking in the
126.40.
sevens. Page 2. I was looking in 5 and 7 for some reason. In the year-to-date, we've spent 513 so far.
Here, show me that.
Page,
Oh, right here, this one. Okay. Yeah, that sounds more like.
But she'll confirm it, unless it comes up the same way.
yeah, I'm pretty sure. For some reason, I was looking in the 700s.
That's right.
Anything else?
I think that's all I had.
And everybody did receive, Brian, we talked about the fire contract a little bit. Nikki did send electronic copy. Did everybody get that? If you want a hard copy,
Is this with the
they can
address?
always, Mary can make you a hard copy or something if you want,
This
but you
does
should
not
have received
include
it electronically.
Once it's passed, then this.
Melissa's in there too long, we'll tell her we found it.
Right. She's probably still looking.
She's probably trying to log on or something, right?
Okay. There's a lot there. I mean, your reports, there's,
I know, usually I have them kind of marked off on.
no, it's
Certain ones.
good, Nikki. It's nothing. You separated more stuff out where we need it, and you combined stuff where we needed it, so it's. Nikki, did you have anything else that you wanted to, you talked about the note?
I think that was it.
Oh, that was, I know we talked a little bit about, Brian, I think I just updated you a little bit, personnel and increase thing, but as council and administration, we thought we'd talk about it in October here, not have it in this appropriation. If we decide to do anything, we'll do a separate appropriation for it. That's what you were referring to there, right? Plus we gotta get their boot allowance straightened out. We might need legislation for that. We wanna be consistent with the payout, the same way we're paying it out according to the auditor and how we're doing it with the police contract. So we're waiting for that, and those are probably two things that you'll see in the October COW meeting too. Was there anything else, Nikki? Those were the two items there.
I think that was it.
Okay. Anybody else have anything for item 7, the finance update and discussion? Okay, so 8 kind of covers it a little bit, what we were just talking about. Any council comments or any comments from any residents, non-residents, or residents that are here or watching YouTube?
No comments.
How many people do we have?
5.
5, okay. Okay, then we'll move on to the legislation. I'll just kind of, we can just go through it, but I just want to make a note. Item A would be our 3rd reading today. We did, because we had 2 readings, because we did have special council meetings, we had to pass the 1 grant, so at that time we did have those items on there too, and council did put them on for 1st and 2nd reading. Today would be the 3rd reading for that, for item A. Item B, is ordinance 2024-10, that's related to RETA. Did anybody have any questions about that? Because A was about the appropriations, we just kind of went through that. Was everybody good with the legislation for the appropriations? Okay. Who would like to introduce that?
I can do it, Mayor.
Okay, Brian. And then we have item B, ordinance 2024-10, that's related to RETA. I know John sent us some updates on that, like kind of the reason, what we received from RETA, why we need to do that, everybody received that per email. Any questions on that? More of a housekeeping item. We did do, this would be 2nd reading, we did do 1 reading on that today, so we can pass it under suspension.
I would say this, just real quick, Mayor, that you were talking about a late filing penalty. This reduces it to $25. I don't know if anybody saw that, but not that I'm advocating for anybody to get a penalty, but they lowered it from the current, the $150 to $25. Just
Right, good point. Yeah. But I think we could set our own. I thought, remembering from when that person was here, or do you have to follow that? Maybe that's what's new about that. You have to follow that, and they have a maximum of. Well, I don't think we're going to go in that direction, anyways.
Bedford doesn't do it either, I gotta say.
We have items. Is everybody good with the RETA then? Who would like to introduce that?
I'll introduce it, Mayor.
Okay, because it was on 2nd reading, we got to do it under suspension. First one we just read into the order because it's 3rd reading, correct, John?
Yes.
You don't need it, but 2nd reading would have to be suspension, correct?
Yes.
Okay, the first one, no, because it would be the 3rd reading, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We have item C, resolution 2024-32, authorizing the purchase the 2024 F-150 for the service department. I know we had some discussion about that. I guess Nikki and John, I know both talked to the auditor. John put some legislation together. Basically, we're not reappropriating money, correct, Nikki?
Correct.
We're just moving it from one fund to the other,
One line item.
one line item to the other.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to introduce that for suspension.
Okay, that's fine. And Fred, you were doing item B, right? Was that? is that
Yeah,
what you-
24-10.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so we have two for suspension in it. Any other questions related to those? You got two ordinances and one resolution?
No, actually, I have a question. Do you know how quickly we'll be able to actually get the pickup? Any idea on the turnaround time?
I think he's got it.
It's in stock there.
It's in stock, I know that, I
Okay.
don't know. how-
Yeah, I thought it was.
Mr. Mayor.
and stuff.
I didn't know if they had to fit it for anything like a plow or anything like that. It's a pickup
This
truck.
Pickup, it's a 150.
Yeah, it's 150, so they're not plowing with it.
Yeah, no.
So that was the whole idea, is get the, and the thing is, like all the departments, service department, Rob and his department do a good job in budgeting and streamlining things, so we're fortunate we're able to move that from one line to the other, because the money was there. And won't change, the operating the rest of the season.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
on the truck, the way Rob explained it, they had talked about it, they went ahead and ordered it, so it came in, and if we don't take it, then somebody else is gonna get it for more money. And if we had to order one, it would cost us more money to reorder. So, it's in.
Good. So we're fine with that. John, did you want to say anything about that, or Nikki? And it didn't do it then, okay. I know everybody did their due diligence on that. Well, any other questions related to the resolution or two ordinances? Any questions from the audience? Residents, non-residents? Okay, then we'll start with the legislation. Who would like to introduce ordinance 2024-9?
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead, Mr. Spitznagel.
I'd like to introduce for third reading, an ordinance amending ordinance number 2024-3, making additional appropriations for current expenditures of the Village of Walton Hills, Ohio during the year 2024 and declaring an emergency.
Second.
Second by Mr. Whedon. Vote on the adoption, right? We don't have to do a suspension.
It's got any emergency clause in it already. So
Okay.
it'll pass as an emergency.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes?
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Okay, 2024-9 has been adopted. 5-0, thank you, everybody. Okay, we have ordinance 2024-10. Who would like to introduce that?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Nielsen.
I'd like to
Councilman
introduce for suspension ordinance number 2024-10. An ordinance amending section 891.072, net profit income subject to net profit tax, alternative appropriation of 891.104, extension of time to file, and 891.11, penalty interest fees and charges of chapter 891, municipal income tax for the tax years commencing January 1st, 2023, and declaring an emergency.
Second.
Second by Councilman Whedon. Vote on the suspension.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Suspension passed, 5-0.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Nielsen.
I'd like to ask for adoption of ordinance number 2024-10.
Second.
Second by Councilman Whedon. Vote on the adoption.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2024-10 passed 5-0. Thank you, everybody. We have resolution 2024-32.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilwoman Allen.
I would like to introduce for suspension Resolution Number 2024-32, a resolution authorizing the purchase of a 2024 F-150 for the Service Department for repairs and maintenance of infrastructure of the village and declaring an emergency.
Second.
Second, vote on suspension.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask for adoption of Resolution 2024-32.
Second.
Second by Councilman Nielsen. Vote on the adoption.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Okay. Adoption passed. Resolution 2024-32 passed 5-0. Thank you, everybody. Any old or new business?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, go ahead.
I
I'm
had-
sorry if I was looking at you.
No, I had two residents call me, and they both just happened to live on Dunham Road, and they wanted to make sure I brought up that they really appreciate all the chipping getting done on their streets. And the dead animals picked up. They said when they go to work, they both happened to mention this, they go to work, there's dead animals. By the time they come home, those animals are all cleaned up, and they really feel that's remarkable for as many streets as we have, that they appreciate everything getting cleaned up so well.
Thank you. I'm sure the service department will pass that on because I know those two items fall under them.
Yes.
Tell the residents they
They-
like lunch.
I think
Take
this.
lunch, not the dead animal. One other thing, though, just to remind everybody, the mail-in ballots are starting to come out. So election's going to be here before we know it, and if they're mailing their ballots in, make sure they get them back in on time.
I know just talking to Rob, we'll probably be shipping well into snow season, you know, just, they always have a deadline, just so everybody knows, they put out a deadline, but, as you mentioned, the village, we really try to cater to the residents, and so does the service department. If they see a lot out there, he does pull it out and they do it, you know. But you just gotta have some type of deadline, but this year, just because a lot of people have things that are broken, they don't even know it, and a branch falls down in a little bit of some wind. It was already broken, but it just didn't separate. I just seen a video, it just happened at a Little League baseball game somewhere. Right over the dugout, they were like 10-year-olds, a tree fell and it was broken from a storm, but they didn't know it, you know, that it was cracked, and then all of a sudden it just came down. Lucky none of the kids got seriously hurt. But it was just one of those things. It was probably cracked for a while, but you couldn't tell, you know, that it fell. So, our next meeting would be, we were talking about that, right, Nikki? What did we say it was? What's the?
I think it was the first.
I believe that's the first Tuesday.
That would be the, let's see, is it the first Tuesday?
October 1st.
Is our first Tuesday?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then we would have a meeting to announce. We got the hayride coming up. Mr. Sursick did retire. He had his last day. Officer Sursick, the chief is planning like a retirement reception for him. We just haven't received the date from him yet. So that will be up and coming, and we'll post that. He was a very good officer, and hate to see him go, but he retired, so he's off to enjoy his retirement. And then we did swear in Matt Bonfield as a full-time officer. He was part-time, and now he is full-time. So,
Mr. Mayor?
yes.
Officer Sursick wrote a very nice thank you and farewell letter.
Mm-hmm.
and included everyone in it. It was very touching, it was very considerate, not something that he ever needed to do, but it was a very nice letter.
Yeah, Tom did a good job for the village and the residents, and he also negotiated the last 2 contracts and even this contract. So he was very important, everybody's important in all their departments, but he wore a few different hats in that department, besides being a patrol officer. So, the village will miss him. Any other old or new business?
Mr. Mayor? Oh, sorry. I just have a question. Has anybody heard or have any comments about our new website, good, bad, or ugly? No?
I haven't received
heard-
any.
I
Haven't heard
received
anything
any
one way or
emails.
the other, no.
Nothing? Okay. I was just wondering.
I like it. I think for us, and it seems I haven't really, Melissa and Nicole, you know, are involved in it. I haven't heard Mary say one. I'll have to ask her. I think it's been friendlier to them, to her and Lisa getting stuff on there and stuff.
Yes.
So I think it's been all positive. We haven't heard anything bad, so that's a plus.
Okay.
What else? I think,
Mr. Mayor?
yes.
I wrote down the website and I left that sitting at home, but the state school report cards are out. So if anybody's interested, you can check it out. Surrounding schools, our school system. And there's been some new legislation passed where the state is now helping to fund private religious schools so they could add on to their buildings and that too, use it for construction to expand their services for a lot of the voucher kids.
Good, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you for that. Okay, anybody else have any? Go ahead.
Yeah, Mayor, I may,
Go ahead,
program, if I may have a schedule conflict for the 1st, which would also be the date of the infrastructure committee meeting. I should know for sure within the next few days whether or not I will request infrastructure get rolled back to the 2nd Tuesday,
Okay.
as if I need to be excused from the 1st Tuesday.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just make sure Mary knows and Nikki or Melissa, and we get that. So if you need to have a link for that,
Thank you.
get the link on there. Okay, and so I think moving forward, our first COW meeting, we'll have budget discussion probably again, Nikki, right? Update, note, probably talk about the notes. Talk about if there's any other appropriations needed, maybe that we know these are needed, but if there's anything else that we need, maybe like we mentioned, if there was something to do with wages, we have to do some legislation to get the food debt consistent with the police and dispatch uniforms. Go from there. Trying to get everything the same with the departments on that, because I know that's one of the items from the auditor is how we paid in the past, so we want that to be taking their advice on how to do it and be consistent with the other departments, so. Okay. Can I ask for a motion for adjournment?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for adjournment of the regular council meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Vote on the motion.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Okay, meeting adjourned at 7:45 PM. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
There you go.